that we are to desire the Lord. We are to thirst and hunger for Him every single day, that He may fill us and satisfy us. Now, I would love for us to get down to the newspapers and just to pick on some of the big highlights today is that President William Ruto kicks off Ukambani tour with bridges, roads, and political push, and also Tanzania security forces kill hundreds in post-election protest. Of course, also just looking back at the tragedy that happened during elections and even after the elections. I also see Nairobi County direct hospitals to switch from Cooperative Bank to CDN Bank. So those are just some of the highlights that are happening online this morning on X. And I would love to now get down to the Daily Nation, see what is happening. And of course, we are grateful that these two men, Bob Njagi and also Nicholas Oyoo, were found. But now we get to hear the torture that they went through, which is very, very sad and disheartening. It's saying here President Yoweri Museveni has admitted holding the duo who he describes as chaos experts. And I see here what began as a brief cross-border visit from Kenya activists Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyoo turned into a brutal test of endurance that neither of them will ever forget. For 38 days, they were blindfolded, chained to chairs, and beaten in dark and cold dungeons. Their mistake: traveled to Uganda to attend the manifesto launch of the country's opposition leader, Bobi Wine. A story covered on pages 2 and also 3. This is definitely the height of inhumanity, and we can only keep praying for the two, so that even after everything that went on, that the Lord may heal them completely. And I also see here Mr. Nicholas Oyoo saying, we went to Uganda because we are East African community citizens. I keep asking myself, what wrong did we do by crossing the border? Very unfortunate. And President Museveni here saying, they have been with us. I have their names. They were working with the Kyangulanyi's group. They are experts in chaos. So that is what Museveni did say, President Museveni did say with regards to holding the two in detention. And I also see 4 billion shillings death threat to senior school rollout that has been covered on pages 4 of the Daily Nation. And I also see why Kanja wants order halting police hiring lifted, a story covered on page 10, and you can have a look at it. When we come to the sports pages, teenager Kibet overjoyed over maiden call up to Stars squad. I'm seeing here the story covered on page 39 saying Aldrin Kibet, 19, plays for Celta Vigo's reserve team in the Spanish Second Division League and is part of the Harambe Stars squad that will play Equatorial Guinea tomorrow and Senegal on November 18th in Antalya, and that is in Turkey. A story covered on page 39. And I also see a story here, MPs lift freeze on new power purchase deals, a story that has been covered on the Daily Nation as well. Now, when it comes to the DN2 pullout today, just matters health, I see inside plot to ban commercial surrogacy as Israel issues warning. So that has been reported as well. You can have a look at it. I also see why education chiefs won't back down on the SHA switch. So that is a story that follows what we actually did cover yesterday. And something here affecting our girls. I see no jobs for girls, how one teenager proved NBA wrong. So this is an interesting story, and you can have a look at it in the Daily Nation this morning. And now I would love to just peep through the Standard this morning and see what also has been highlighted, what is being reported, so that just we can get to be on the know. Of course, some news will be, a duplicate, but I see here weak need diplomat, and I see Foreign Affairs CS Musalia Mudavadi is facing mounting criticism for his muted response to the growing abuse of Kenyans in neighboring countries, from the abduction of activists in Uganda to the brutal killing of a teacher in Tanzania. Kenyans abroad say their government has abandoned them. Instead of summoning diplomats or issuing firm protest, he is being accused of appeasing regional leaders. Mudavadi pales compared to the U.S. Marco Rubio or Russia's Sergei. This is Lavrov, whose words are edicts, story covered on page 6. And of course, some of the issues that have been highlighted here by one political analyst, Martin Andati, saying Mudavadi is a status quo person. He would not like to rattle Uganda and Tanzania because they are our trading partners, yet the lives and property of Kenyans must take precedence over any other interest. We see Macharia Munene here saying each country then has an obligation to ensure its citizens are free from harm. Failure to do that implies the country does not know what its interests that need protecting and advancing are. And I also see Professor Gitile Naituli here also adding, who is from Multimedia University, adding Mudavadi's performance has been very underwhelming. You cannot compare him with Ambassador Amina Mohammed. So that is going on. And of course, we are waiting to see what Mudavadi will respond to the same. And more stories I see. Former U.S. President Barack Obama surprised a group of war veterans at Washington, D.C.'s airport, joining them aboard their flight to personally thank them for their service as the nation marked Veterans Day. Quite a beautiful, beautiful show of kindness right there. And now let us have a look at the Business Daily, see what is being reported here as well. Kenya to ban electronics import over 12 years old. This has been covered. I see new rules seek to protect public from health hazards, age restrictions based on UNEP guidelines. And I also see Kenya economy seen growing at a faster pace in 2026. So that is what we are hoping to see come up. The Kenyan economy is projected to grow at a slightly faster speed in 2026, helped by failing cost of credit, stronger exports, and improved household spending. A fresh focus by global banks and think tanks shows, which is quite a good thing. So there's something good to expect in 2026, that indeed our economy here in Kenya is going to experience growth. I also see MPs lift freeze on new power purchase deals. We have covered that. Tanzania-based tycoon takes 41.75% control of EAPC. So Tanzanian conglomerate Amson's Group has completed the buyout of a 29.2% stake in East African Portland Cement, valued at 718.66 million shillings from Swiss multinational Holcim. So that is a story that has been covered there. And I also see Vodacom rules out hiving off listing M-Pesa amid CBK push. So that's been reported on the Business Daily this morning. You can tune into Hope FM at the top of every hour. We also do have news updates right here on Hope TV. We have Dira at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. we also have News Watch, so you can be on the know of what is happening in our nation and also beyond. Additionally, we have to keep praying, so that the Lord will see us through, and that even as we look forward to the 2027 elections, that we will experience peace, that we shall have a peaceful election, that the Lord will indeed put godly leaders who will lead the nation in the right direction. So let us keep praying on the same, and let us not just sit down and wait to see how things turn out. We have to pray ahead of it, because I am persuaded that God hears prayers. So let's now have a look at the video of the day. When we come back, we will see what we can learn from it.